this entire article is horny posting. But just
It seems as though male beauty at Mr. Depp's level represents a curious X factor, an almost magical quality that throws off even long-established gendered presumptions. So he has magic powers now with his face. Beauty remains a subject reserved largely for and about women. It's typically women whose appearances are dissected into countless parts to be assessed or embellished. It's mostly women whose beauty is scrutinized constantly for signs of perceived decay or mishap attributed to aging, weight gain, inadequate or even excessive maintenance, or other potential crimes. So according to conventional thinking, to focus on a man's beauty as opposed to, say, his virility, or use it to adjudge his character, risks emasculating him, depriving him of his inner value, his spirit, strength, or accomplishments. And so we shy away from mentioning male beauty very much.
So in essence, we are respecting men by ignoring their or physical attractiveness, or putting less attention on it.
No inner beauty at all, another Twitter critic declared. You are a liar, manipulator, and abuser, another shriek tweeted at Mrs. Heard after the verdict. Thousands of such screeds filled social media throughout the long weeks of the trial.
What's happening here is people are not focusing on Amber Heard's physical looks. They are focusing on her inner character. It just so happens that her inner character is a frickin' wasteland. How do you focus on the inner character of women and not look at their looks, without acknowledging that there can be character? Like, you can't have character without failures of character. They're not looking at her looks, they're looking at her behavior and her actions and her morality. And they're saying that's what matters. So, on the one hand, the fact that men's looks are set aside to focus on their character is somehow a male privilege. But when people set women's looks aside to focus on their character, that's also a male privilege. The same people who were condemning Amber Heard for her appalling lack of character and her appalling lack of any kind of sense of compassion or connection to other people were lauding Camille for her character, for her courage, and for her compassion. I think this is displaying a lot more about the writer than it is about Depp. She's yet another person that thinks everything is a performance, everything is a power struggle. She can't see that Johnny Depp was doing something scary that required him to lay everything bare. She is pointing out something that's really interesting, that he has managed to be so vulnerable and yet become even more beloved. The fact that he became even more beloved through bearing his soul to the people and telling his truth, it's a hopeful, it's a little bit of a white pill that maybe that this is something that other men can do. And maybe women can watch this and realize that men's vulnerabilities just make them more whole. I think what's happening here is this woman is seeing a man being vulnerable, which she perceives as being submissive. Why does everything have to go back to manipulation of the narrative? This is what I've noticed about the media, is that they can't acknowledge that something may have happened that was based on reality. Everything has to be about how Depp manipulated the media, the public, or the perception or the narrative.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that if he did, then he did it better than they did.
In a contest between an older, wealthy, powerful man and a smaller, less powerful woman, male beauty can help make that man seem younger, weaker, more vulnerable, turning him into the helpless victim of the woman's presumptive physical aggression, even in light of the evidence her lawyers presented that argued to the contrary, all without depriving the man of his other, more conventional male privilege.
Essentially, Johnny Depp's beauty is a male privilege. It's anti-feminist. It's part of how he harms women. She's not just saying, wow, he's really hot. She's also saying, wow, he has the influence and the magnetism and the dark
Yeah.
miasmic
Yeah.
power of an old world vampire.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly. He's
that is part
dangerous
of
and
his sexual
sexy. And
attraction.
can you imagine the jury? Let's go look up his Instagram. And then they just look at his pictures for like a couple hours. And then they're like, yeah, he's innocent. Can you imagine like a man writing an article like this about, Heard, I guess? Like, damn, she was looking good on that. But she used her beauty to try to influence the jury. But damn.